Hello. Welcome back.
Hello.
How are we? Hey,
How are you
Jaren.
doing? Yeah. Hey, Jaren. How you going today?
Hey.
Yeah. How are you doing, Des?
I'm doing well. I'm busy but well. But yeah, we're back with the new setting today, Raf.
Mm-hmm.
We're back again with this little cracked idea of ours, the little brain baby that is forming, and trying to figure out what the heck we want to do. You just woke up? Nice. I only woke up about 2 hours ago.
Glad we are here to welcome you in the morning, Jaren.
Hey, X-Cat. Thank you for manifesting. But yeah,
Thanks for manifesting it.
Today we are hey Emerald.
Hey,
nice
Bernie.
to see everyone coming in. So the goal for today.
I like how we adopt. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
Honestly, I just like how we adopt different names, different people in chat. Like it's always like I always go for Burning, you always go for Emerald.
Really? I was yeah.
We always just pick like different parts of the name to call people.
Look, we agree on X-Cat at least.
We agree on X-Cat. The same darkness feels weird. But yes, sorry, Des.
But yeah, no, the goal of today's stream is to start working on. Well, we're working on the new setting. For those of you that don't remember, we kind of set up our world rules the other day, and got like the general idea of how magic works in the world, what cosmological structure we're going to do, and then we kind of figured out, how exactly we want the magic and all to work. So today the goal is to kind of go into another step. Hey, Sweet Pea. And
Hey, Sweet Pea.
Brian Emerald, thank you for the 100 bits.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much.
Happy to see us both. I'm happy to have you here.
Look,
thank you so much for the 100 bits.
Happy to have you all here.
People who call me Darkness by
people...
default can't help themselves say, hello, Darkness, my old friend. I am here and I'll try my best not to distract this stream. Look, Viddy, we can just take that conversation about headsets. We'll do this just all through chat, Twitch chat. It'll be great. Hey, Cat. Hey. Everyone has different names.
There's a third one.
There's a third one.
Yeah. Look, I'm sure you won't distract this video until you put some weird 2-hour discussion about some specific D&D rule. And then just watches us discuss it.
Viddy, it's no rush, but do you want to see how bad this headset's gotten? So, it's a really good headset. I had it almost 5 years, but you can see the housing has broken, and now it is just like, the ear cup is like hanging on with a lick and a prayer. Like, we're past duct tape and dreams. It's just...
It's lick and prayer stage.
It is.
Like, there's the sliding scale. You go from duct tape and dreams to lick and prayer. Or rather, like, that way.
Like, you can see the headset. It's not like... It doesn't have, like, the actual suspension that this one's using to, like, sit the ear cup on. It's just, like, squishing onto it. I'm so annoyed because I'm going to try and bring it to...
Many years of service.
SteelSeries doesn't have a repair center. They don't do repairs on products. Their solution is buy a new headset. It's out of warranty, buy a new headset. Which is a bit frustrating.
Shit,
but there's a repair place in town that said he needs me to bring it to him, but the problem is that he's gonna... Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm probably going to do. But I don't know how long, if that will work. So I'm going to buy a new headset. It's 5 years. But there's a repair place in town that does like repair jobs on like laptops, headsets, pretty much anything. And he's got like all the equipment. So he said, if I bring the headset in, it may be like a day or two, which is very difficult for me to actually be without a headset for a day or two, because I don't have a backup. But I will be bringing this, once I have a new headset, I'll bring this to him and give it and be like, hey, can you just epoxy? Now, mind you, it does still have like some issues. Like it randomly drops connectivity sometimes. It's if I like wander too far. Like I used to be able to wander across the entire apartment with the headset on, and now it gets, if I go to like out like too far in the kitchen and stuff, it will kind of flicker a bit. So I want to fix it, but I know I'm going to need a new headset. And you know what? I paid $350 for this 5 years ago. It owes me nothing at this stage.
Yeah, it has paid that off time and time again.
Yeah, especially with the amount I
some
use
wild times.
And you know what? Look, I think for like my budget this time is only like 200 because I just don't spend as much. But I think with the Christmas sales coming up, I probably get something better than this. Especially if I go wired. Like I know I paid such a premium for a wireless headset. So if I go wired, I can probably get something very good.
Yeah, you can get something of equivalent quality, just not wireless.
Might even be able to get better quality.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because if I was to do it my way, I would just go straight. And Lucas the MP, thank you for Lucas THMP. I don't know how to pronounce it, but Lucas, thank you for the follow. As I bitch about my headset for a couple seconds into the start of this. Yeah, no, I like just saying hi, can't stay long, gotta eat and skedoodle. Enjoy your skedoodling.
Yeah.
Well, okay. That's enough of me complaining about my headset. Raf, we're talking about the inhabitants of this new world. What the hell that looks like?
Who are they? Look, are there inhabitants? Are there even people living there?
This is blank. See you guys next week.
Yeah, blank canvas. No one exists there. Players will be the first people manifesting in the world. Done. I got my wireless Sony headset from my mum, who bought it on special, then later realized she didn't need it, so she sold it to me for half. So expensive headset for cheap, basically new. That is a very good deal.
That's nice. See, I was going to get the Arctis Nova Pro wireless, but I just didn't get paid before the Black Friday sale ended, and now it's gone back up to 360 from 260. But I didn't really want to spend 260. Now I can get the Arctis Nova Pro wired, which is like the upgraded version of this, but wired for 200. But Viddy's pretty into his audio stuff, so I asked for expertise.
If anyone out there who has just bought brand new top quality headsets that want to sell it to us for half, then feel free to message us.
I'd love to play an exploration adventure where there's no civilization. Ooh.
That's interesting. I think we could definitely have an area of the map almost where that's the case.
Yeah, we definitely could.
Where it's almost like
wires always give out on me. I don't want to go back from wireless. Yeah, see, I don't like wires that much is the problem. So I could see myself getting wireless again because I don't have a big room to move around. And I don't know, back when I was in like an even smaller space, I always found myself like rolling over the wire of the headset with my chair.
Okay.
Because it's kind of I had like a 5 meter wire on mine, so I had like a shit ton of wire.
Right. See, I kind of just have like the wire just resting in my lap almost. Which is just I never roll over it. I just have it rest in there. I don't know. Like I just don't use I use some wires.
I just need the mic quality. I only need a mic because I will use it for work as well. So it just needs to have some form of microphone on it. I wish I didn't, but my laptop has like I can't plug the fucking the Shure into it.
Yeah.
You're a Luddite against wireless tech when EM radiation causes stress to the nervous system, and it's documented. Interesting. See, I'm just about the audio quality, but I like wireless. It's the headset's the only thing I have that is wireless. I have a Sennheiser HD 300 series. The cable cups and head cushion are all modular.
That sounds.
That sounds good. I know Sennheiser's good, but. Let's actually, Viddy, I'm going to tell you the one thing. Oh, okay, that's cool. HD 300. That's actually fairly affordable as well. That's not that bad. For me, it just says not available, so I don't know how much it costs.
I see like retailers that have it here around here.
I just googled it. Yeah, actually, before you go there, I will ask you one thing. So the one I have been looking at that was different was the Audio-Technica ATH M50X STS. That's what I was looking at. I'll just send you a link on Discord, and then I will get back to streaming. Okay, Raf.
Yes. I mean, actually, just J Rains has put an interesting thing there, just slightly more on topic to get us back in. But personally, I would adventure similar to the Uncharted franchise. The party themselves are traveling around the realm, finding clues and solving adventures, leading whilst also being pursued, racing its opposing party to get to the treasure first. That is a very fun, and that's hopefully something that will be done at some point. Especially if we go for a more, as we're kind of discussing, like if there's like one part of the world that's slightly more uncivilized, untouched, and we use that for very solid exploration-based campaigns. I think that'd be a lot of fun. But yeah, sorry, back to the scheduled programming.
No, so yeah, we're trying to talk Inhabitants Day. So we really kind of obviously we're going to be putting this as something like we're wanting to do and like make. So it's if it's not SRD, we can't include it. Now, that's not to say we can't use inspiration to make something, you know, equivalent or, you know, nice. Like Kalashtar, we could do something akin like, I don't know. I've been thinking about it. We know we want to have, like, we're covering like the basic human, elves, dwarves, goblins.
Yeah,
we've not settled on
breakdown for stream sake in terms of what it is that we know we want to keep. Which I just created a little section down here for just, you know, a bit further down in the document. Got to make some kind of cat folk. Interesting you say that, X-Cat. Interesting you say
So we're
that.
not going to have anthropomorphized races in this setting. We're leaning towards. Now we can have more feline, like feline kin. Now we'll have kitsune, which would be like fox people.
But that's the thing is,
we don't want to straight up have anthro races. I cast black hole on your setting. Yeah, the furries will do that to you. No, but like we're going to have humanoids with like animalistic features, but we're not going to go straight anthropomorphized creatures.
Yeah. See, I think it's just interesting as well, because something that you and I have both noted in that all the games in D&D, we've never really encountered someone who's played, take for this case, a tabaxi, who's never played a tabaxi purely for a concept, a lore-based reason, a, you know, race-based reason. It's purely for the mechanics of the tabaxi class. That is every single time I've seen someone pick a tabaxi has been for the mechanics for the race. And I don't know, like we just haven't really seen many people play it, so it's not even high demand for us.
Yeah, we've also had them, they've not been used. Like we've had Leon and we've had Loxodon. People haven't really leaned towards them. Not a cat, probably a furry. Not a furry, I'm a cat. Yeah, look, the spectrum of people.
Not a cat, probably a furry.
It depends on what classification you're using.
Yeah. We've had that full discussion video.
We've had the lecture from both a cat and a furry. Dang, we've got the full range. Then we have Raph, not a cat, not a furry.
Reading aloud. True.
Yo, true, honestly, based.
But yeah, so in terms of races that we go into, I've just further down on that doc, there's just in terms of like a dot point thing for us to actually just go into what races we do have in the setting, so everyone can keep track.
Raph does not have big cat energy. Raph does not. Raph.
Big cat energy.
Nah.
What do you mean by that?
Nah. I own cats. You don't have cat energy. You are like the most loyal dog.
I have been told I have.
You are
like golden retriever, Labrador.
No. You are like I'd say you're like.
I agree with the hat. I can agree with the cat. I can agree with the cat though. I just want to hear like why.
Look, I could see you lazing about like a house cat, but you are far more like, you know, like I'd say like a solid German Shepherd. Like you are there for you. Like yeah, you're like my ride or die. I no shot. Like we throw in hands, you're there.
I've never heard me as a German Shepherd out of like any like equivalent any of this time of discussion. I've never
Trust. Raph is tuxedo cat, Des is orange. I am orange cat energy. You know what? You're right. When you write, you're right.
That's incredibly accurate. That is incredibly accurate. I'm curious though. Tuxedo cat. Why? I get Des being a orange cat. 100%. 100%.
Fuck you. Fuck you.
I get that. You just agree to it, Des. You were just like, yeah, 100%. That's me. That's me. I'm really curious. I had a tuxedo cat.
Nah, because I'm like German Shepherd. I just think if we were at like, we throw in hands, like you're just no questions asked there. Like,
oh yeah,
like also just like how like, you know, we're like always chatting, like fucking do everything there. It's like yeah, cat don't do that. Like cat want to go off and do their own thing. Nah.
True. I mean, I think there's times I definitely a bit more of a cat energy behind me.
Oh yeah, no, I'm not saying you don't, but I just think the dog energy far outweighs it.
So I still can't get it. Des having an orange cat energy. I'm sorry, that's just so good. Cats can be ride or die. My cat growing up once fought off a dog that was giving my mom trouble once. He was a boss. Damn.
Oh yeah, cats can be ride or die, but like Rafa's not a house cat, just like lazing inside. Like
Rafa's a tuxedo cat because those are the most like house dogs. They can be trained, but they can go off on adventures on their own and often outdoor cats. Interesting. I kind of like that.
I could see it.
Well, I'll take that.
Yeah, you don't even need to explain the orange cat one to me though. I get it. Straight up just get it. But okay, so before we got distracted by that meme comment, yeah,
also, my last cat was a tuxedo cat, so that's really fitting.
Hey,
nice.
I've got just big country and a black cat because I just adopted and kind of said, give me whatever people don't want, and I got two menaces. I have a cat that pulls up floorboards and one that can't breathe right. I really got the pick of the litter. Did I ever tell you the story about the curtains? I think I did. About when Big Country shat in the curtains.
Oh yeah, you told me that one.
Have I told Stream that?
I don't think you've ever told that.
Who's the black cat of the group?
Okay, how would you characterize black cats, Des? In your mind?
They can't breathe very well.
I'm curious, Viddy, like what do you put in as like the characteristics of a black cat? Like what in your mind, what is like the personality that they have? Because in my experience, a lot of the black cats that I've seen people have been very skittish creatures.
My black cat also has breathing issues. Hey, let's go.
Okay, so who in the group has breathing issues? That is the question. The group
Jen 100% has anxiety, gets panic attacks. She's the black cat.
Fuck.
But black cats be like tripping in the void. Nah, black cats just can't breathe that good.
Fact.
Oh, I'm sorry, that was too fucking good.
That was very good though. I don't know, from my experience, is that they always seem skittish and very shy.
Slurblings, am I a black cat? I have asthma and anxiety. Emerald, you are in fact a black cat. I'm sorry. You are just
if
like Ronald Weasley, my boy. It's just seconded the whimsical goof, skittish, but loves people. Yeah, and the breathing issues, and the breathing
100%.
issues.
100%. Like they always take black cats always take a while to warm up to people, but once they do, they're very loving.
IRL, my nickname's Kitty. IRL, nice.
Let's go. That's a good fit then. Black cats know how dark they are. They are more confident at night because they don't like being spotted on the day. My theory, yeah. Look,
Eldritch Maine Coon, nice.
It's a solid theory reading. So we've established which type of cat everyone is, and I think we can.
No, we still got to go through AJ. If we're making everyone a cat, what is Viddy? What is AJ? What is Nate?
Interesting. Any suggestions, Des?
Ooh, I don't know. It's a difficult one. I feel like Nate's like super independent. Like,
yeah. I don't know too much about different like personality types behind different cats. Black cats perpetually have night zoomies. Oh, honestly, Nate is a farm cat. Yeah.
You know what? I can see that. Nate is a farm cat.
I can see that.
What is AJ? AJ's a golden retriever. He's a golden retriever surrounded by.
Who's like a tabby? And we're doing cats. Who's like a tabby though?
Varieties to remember: Siamese, Egyptian furless, amongst dwarf varieties. You know, I invoked chaos because you said no to Baxi equivalents. That'd be grand. What I like the top like.
Luke, is it on the group just a a furless cat?
Wait, yeah, Nate. Nate is the hairless cat. Let's go.
Nate is the Sphinx cat.
Nate is the Sphinx. He's hairless. Let's go. If he fucking imagine he rocks up, guys, what the fuck? That's just
he comes in 1 second. Nate is the Hell's Cat. Just leaves like, no, fuck this shit. I'm out.
Yeah, he was about to say hello.
Every
He was
single
typing
screen.
and he heard that and he just fucking threw the computer. Vinny, what type of cat are you, do you think?
Yeah, what type of cat would you call yourself? What is this on here? Oh, yeah, that's it.
You have no idea. You think you're a dog? That's fair. That's fair. You could be a Labradoodle like AJ.
Mm-hmm. That's fair. That's fair. Yes, X-Cat, but have you seen videos of dogs that think they're cats? That is the real question. But yes, Des. To hurry back to the topic of races.
Hurry
in the
back
world,
to the topic to the races. Okay. So we have, obviously we're doing humans. We're going to do humans
Yes,
every setting.
regardless.
Got them. They're the bread and butter.
Yeah. Yeah, you gotta have them. Well, you don't have to have them, but you know, we have them.
Look, they're in there. But yeah, so we're doing humans. We're doing elves, but we don't know what sub races of elves we're doing yet because we're probably gonna make our own. You were definitely saying you want something akin to, what you call it, akin to like a drow or a starless again, some form of subterranean elves.
No, not necessarily. I said that I couldn't do that if we had them in the setting, otherwise I'd be so biased towards them because I've just come from being very involved with Starless as Cal that I just feel like I can't go into creating any type of underground elf. So that's something I want to leave for a bit and then see if we come up with an idea.
We can always come back to it.
But yeah, so humans, we'll have elves, sub races. Well, I can't spell. Sub races to be decided. Dwarves, we will, and we've already kind of had a bit of discussion between the two of us on dwarves, different types of dwarves.
Okay. What else? We were thinking. We definitely want to have some form of goblinoid.
Yes, to
Maybe
what
foxes
extent?
as the Forsaken race. We are going to have some form of like foxkin kitsune. We definitely said we're going to do something like that. We have ideas for that.
We're not taking that away from Jen just after we brought it into the world. I think she would just leave.
Yeah, we bring it in and then bam,
Yeah.
it's gone.
So, but yeah, so Ominoid. Now, where did we leave on the discussion of like gnomes and halflings in the world?
Gnomes and halflings.
Because we spoke about.
So we kind of talked about like. I suppose our main thing is like to just like halflings just feel like hobbits to us, and that's definitely been something we've talked about. And
Yeah.
gnomes kind of imply a certain kind of like energy, and I don't know. I feel like a lot of those are kind of like the more jokey, lighthearted races, and we're trying to do something that's quite serious in tone.
That being said, I feel like it's almost
Step one,
interesting
introduce
if we
races.
merged
Step two,
groups.
introduce genocide. You know what? Xcot, there's tabaxi. Oh look, they're gone. Look,
Look, funnily enough, that happened on the other side of the world.
That did actually
Tabaxi went up in smoke.
so did elves, to be fair.
Yeah, rest in peace.
Rest in peace and
Gone too soon.
pieces.
But yeah, so no, we're definitely considering that. With
Yeah,
halflings
gnomes
and
are
gnomes, we're
explodey
considering-
steampunk, and that's kind of like we're not wanting high level tech in the world. So I don't know if we really want gnomes.
Yes,
I know
but
we want
still think
snake
there's
people. Like
something-
kind of we want to do a different twist on UNT, so we can put that on the list.
Yeah. Yeah. I think or actually orcs as well before we get there. We can have orcs because we haven't had them for a while and we both kind of like them. Yuan.
My headcanon for
Yeah.
Tabaxi is that they are cosmic nomads moving across the D&D multiverse. They didn't do so hot in our last setting, I'm not going to lie to you, X-Cat. They kind of got rolled for their shoes immediately.
Yeah. They were gone. Not before their time, but they were just gone. That being said, just to go back on the halflings and gnomes, I feel like we don't get rid of them completely at this stage. We don't write them off completely, but we definitely think about if there's ways we can make them interesting spins on how we characterize them, how we can make them different from the usual ones. Because I think that's generally interesting if we can think of a way to construct our gnomes and halflings to be quite different from the standard PHB and just Forgotten Realms equivalent gnomes and halflings that everyone uses. I think if there's something we can do on that front that make them stand out quite a bit more, then we can use them. But it's something that I'd want to do something different. See, that's kind of cool. Ghost gnomes. But yeah, it's something that I feel like I want to think a bit on, see if I can think of something. Twitch hit you with an ad. Oof. Tieflings. We were gonna have tieflings.
Tieflings, but I wanted to make an argument for no Aasimar. No,
I can accept that as much as it
pains you.
No, but I feel like there's almost needs to be. Oh no! You know what? No. I can accept that. As much as it pains me, I can accept that. I can accept no Aasimar.
Make them closer to the pre-Victorian fairy tales, much more vicious and bloodthirsty, almost like red caps. Almost could do that for.
See, that could be very interesting. That could be very interesting for gnomes. See, that's something I'd be interested in terms of the general direction. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. So we have tieflings, which is something to go into because our tieflings, with the whole construction of the world and the
X-Cat's back from ads.
What was that, sir? Oh,
so hello. Ghost gnomes. I don't know about ghost gnomes.
That's something I want to think about, actually. It could be fun, though. It could be fun. Something was, yeah, another idea.
Put it in the list of ideas we have for gnomes.
Yeah. I think I know I must need to create a separate list here, which is just Reese ideas.
Are they tiny fairy-sized races? I would say they'd be small. I don't think they'd be tiny. Did you put tiefling? Yeah, you did. Okay.
Yeah. So tiefling is going to function quite differently because obviously we have no hell equivalent.
No, I kind of pitched an idea to you off stream when we were discussing this a little bit, that I think tiefling and genasi and the like are kind of made from malevolent spirits affecting the mortal realm. And see, video, I was saying no Aasimar because I think Aasimar, the gods in the sense, benevolent spirits, don't see it fair to mess with the mortal spirits. So that's why we would have tieflings but no Aasimar. Because I don't want the gods to be as interactive, because kind of Aasimar indicates a level of celestials and benevolent spirits, kind of a level of influence and interactivity with that being. So that's why I was
I could almost. But I think if we take it back in Aasimar to be a very indirect means of influencing the world, like they exist, they are obviously they're, part of the god's wishes to be there with the guide and everything, but that's very much like, we don't want to involve ourselves too much because we don't see it as our role, our place, but he's like a very indirect means by which we can help.
What if tieflings and Aasimar are the same thing? They're born from celestials, portraying their non-interference rules. Maybe we kind of have we still have devils and demons, or what would be devils and demonic spirits in the spirit realm, that I think they would affect the mortal spirits because they don't see it as wrong to interject their will into the material realm. But I think the benevolent celestials, I don't know if I want them to. Because, I don't know, just in Quenthos, what we've been running and what I've been running for so long is super, super heavy god involvement. And I don't want to run that again.
Okay, but that's almost why I'm saying that in regards to Aasimar, we can have them almost as a means of very indirect god involvement. The most that they will have in regards to an Aasimar is that they have, a certain celestial spirit that is guiding them. but they themselves have very little involvement because they don't want to involve themselves too much. This is like a means by which they can be part of it, but then also not like directly coming down themselves and, you know, being there and having full conversations. That's as an idea at the very least.
I'm gonna need
It's
to be
something I
sold
don't
on
want
it
to
more.
dismiss.
I just.
It's something I don't want to at the same time throw away at this stage. Asima.
Oh look, I'm just voicing my opinion as of right now because of what we've done. You can remove evil from the equation and factionalize your dark spirits and reflave Asimar's children of a fallen faction that over it still fits the dark spirit role. Could do. I don't know, I feel like that kind of the identity of Asimar kind of wavers then.
Okay. Well, let's put a pin in Asimar then, because that's something I feel like
put Asimar under the maybe. I'll need to be convinced because I am fairly strong in the camp of no.
Okay, so there'll be a third category set up here, which is maybe races. And the first one in this maybe category is going to be there we go.
You just need some art to sell the visual of a fallen Asimar. But I don't want every Asimar to, if I was to have them, to be fallen Asimars.
Yeah.
Like I can think of arguments for it in my own head, but I'm already pretty in the strong camp of no, so I'm not going to try and argue for it. Fallen theme, not as fallen in subrace. Interesting. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. It's still fairly tied to Celestials, and Celestials are just so involved in the current setting we have that I just don't want it as a thing to be like influencing the stories and such. So I'll be open to being convinced, but I will be hard to be convinced.
That's fair. I mean, I just suppose in my mind we haven't really had many Asimar characters at the table. Yeah, it's only been one.
True. It's not about the actual Asimar character. It's about the level of interactivity it kind of implies for a god in the setting.
Yeah, but I think that there's also a lot of worlds in which Asimar aren't very connected to the god itself. It's more that there's a connection through to whatever deity it is, but then it's never direct.
But you know, there's sort of like a player expectation. Like for a lot of media, it does end up being direct though. And reading that said, you want an agnostic setting for heavenly influences. Yeah, I don't really want, because that's one thing we said, we don't want gods to be like super, like.
Well, what we don't want is what we're more like. We didn't want them to be like Quenthos, where they can, you know, people know them. It's like, oh, yeah, Lizeffigan. I remember when he was still alive. Oh, yeah, that guy over there is his son. Like, yeah, we can. Oh, yeah, the Eye of Ruin. Yeah, if we try hard enough, we can walk to the middle. We can see him. He exists there. We don't want that level of connection, but we still want them to obviously still have some level of influence and role and connection to the setting, just not where it's like a one-to-one interface between person and god, which Asimar isn't, because you have the middleman, and then sometimes the
we also could remove the Celestial Guide. Except does bring up a good point. In my mind, you could have an Asimar bloodline, but they don't have to talk to those gods the same way not all tieflings talk to their devilish ancestor. Yeah, we could.
That's true.
That could be a step.
But then you're just making. Yeah, but then you're just making like a good tiefling in that sense. Like,
I mean, that's what Asimar basically is.
Not really. Like, it depends on which, like, in a lot of ways, it's not exactly. Like, you don't have lineages of Asimar that exist.
No. I mean, in our revised ancestors, we only have the one type of Asimar, even we don't have distinctions between fallen.
Mm-hmm. No. Yeah, because Asimar is a lineage. Like, it's something that adds on to your initial race. Whereas Tiefling's not. Tiefling is the race.
Asimar is to Diva as Tiefling is to Devil. Yeah.
A friend of mine swapped out the gods for an astrological element. People drew magic from constellations, which meant their power waned when it was out of sight. And some folks drew magic from the earth, but it was limited in different ways. That's very cool. We did briefly discuss about having constellation-based magic, but then we got slightly cracked with the current idea.
Yeah, it kind of just went off with this. But no, look, again, I think we should. I don't want to just talk in circles about ASMR for like the entire stream. So I think, in interest of like moving it forward, we discuss next races down the line.
Okay. Dragonborn.
Yeah, I want to do something akin to Dragonborn, but I don't want them to just be, like a standard. I want to do something weird with them, but I definitely want them in there. Pick a new race. Let's go. Yeah, look, we'll get distracted about another race.
Dragonborn but changed. Yeah. I think that's something a conclusion we've came to is that we want some form of.
So Leonans, what's the choice there? No anthropomorphized races. None.
Particularly cats. Gluten intolerant Dragonborn. Shit.
Viddy, though, I was thinking of introducing something. I mean, I talked about this, Raph. Kind of like the Vestayan League of Legends, like Zion Rakan. I don't mind having humanoids with kind of
animal
like
traits.
Animal traits, so we can go that whole discussion. Does it have paw pads? Is it a furry? We can have that in world. Dragonborns are technically anthro. That's why I said different. I want to change it somehow. Yeah. I don't know, I just feel like in dark fantasy, I don't think anthro races work that well.
See, I almost want to have, and this maybe because we've just gone very much.
Well, we won't have the woad in this world, Viddy. This is an entirely new setting.
But yeah, so there's almost part of me that wants to take Dragonborn in the direction, which I think like we lean to perhaps with a lot of things, but it's something that could be interesting. With Dragonborn is almost have it be like a lineage-based decision for these other races, which then has slight visual indicators, but it's not like overwhelmingly.
So it's literally like a draconic ancestor somewhere in the line, and you could be an elven Dragonborn or dwarven Dragonborn.
Yeah, like you can have, but then it takes on those the traits. And you have like parts of you, you know, a lot more dragon aligned, like scales and everything. But it's not like your whole body, you are like full dragon. Like Dragonborns are just miniature dragons. As a potential idea. I
don't hate it. We do love adding on lineages like Cursed One, ASMR Tiefling.
True. I mean, it is a good way of handling a lot of these type of ideas. I like that Wizards has started to adopt it. I think it's very interesting.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because it gives a way to like add in like ways of magical ancestry without just having them be an entirely set thing on their own. I had a resource a while ago that basically expanded Dragonborns to dragon touched all the way to half dragons. Interesting. So Dragonborn, your role would be like being dragon marked in Eberron. I'm not familiar enough with Eberron to know that.
Yes.
Dragonborn elements awaken only in maturity, manifesting to be like oh, I like that though. Dragonborn elements awaken only in maturity, manifesting like X-Men mutants. I like that. Write that down. Humans with horns and specialized dragons that are bipedal and human sized, etc. Interesting. I don't know if I'd like dragons that are bipedal and human sized.
If you still have that resource though, video, I'd be very interested to see it.
Yeah,
if you still have it around, just to see ideas, get the old cogs going. But yeah, no, I think some form of Dragonborn but different is an approach we want to take. That was something we discussed at length because neither of us just wanted to have Dragonborn
Spyro flashbacks. Yeah.
So because of the everything else, we weren't going to have Eric Hocker.
I really like that idea from reading aloud. The whole it only matures like an X-Men mutation.
Yeah.
I'll put that in there. That's cool. I fuck with that. I fuck with that heavy.
Yeah. I definitely fuck with that. I definitely think it could be a cool way to go.
Spyro flashbacks, yeah. Spyro was a goated game though, let's be honest. Can't talk shit about Spyro.
Which Spyro though? That is the question.
The original 3. No, like after that. The PS1 versions, everything after that's trash.
But yeah, as I said as well, Eric Okra by just the sheer dint of no anthropomorphic races, we're not having Aarakocra.
Dragonmark House is races that are specifically, they're marked with a special insignia to indicate that they're special. Dragon marks are limited to specific races they show up in, replace the racial traits and abilities, and grow as they mature and become more powerful. Interesting. Yeah, I think something like that. And but I think it literally like manifests visually as well, not just like a dragon mark. I don't know what a dragon mark is the problem. I don't know if it's like horns and the like, but maybe something like that. That's interesting. The Activision trilogy was actually good. Was it? Which one's which trilogy was that? Was that on the PS2? Or is that the PS1 ones? I don't know who made them. The Reignited trilogy was cool.
I think that was the Activision one.
Was it?
I think so.
Oh yeah, it was the Reignited trilogy. Like the mark of passage is a human-specific dragon mark of House Orion, transport and goods-focused organization. Dragon marked are symbols that appear on the body, but otherwise they appears. Yeah, no, I don't want to go quite that plain. I want to do like. Also, I don't know if I want to limit them to like one ability. I think maybe we could. Oh, maybe we do like a bunch of like similar dragon marks, but we like draconic mutations.
I think depending on the lineage as well, it's very much like one for like an equivalent amount for each.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot of fun things we could do with that actually. Now that I think there's a lot of interesting things. I like the lineage idea. To have it almost be like an add-on.
Cinder. I think I remember something about that vaguely. I don't know what game that was in there. Was that Dawn of the Dragon? I think I remember that somewhat vaguely. I'll Google it, see what I see.
I do not know Spyro well enough at all to be able to comment there.
I'll Google the Spyro games in order. The Legend of Spyro was the trilogy name.
Legend of Spyro. You found it, Des?
No, like I'm still just remember I was looking back at the Spyro Year of the Dragon where you can skateboard as him. That was fucking cool. I got distracted. Yeah. I think I'm trying to just looking up the games. There's a few. I think is that the one that starts with a Hero's Tale, or is it before that?
Super cinematic trilogy that had a great grand story.
Oh wait, yeah, I remember playing this. I did not like the Legend of Spyro one that much. I remember playing the first one. Apparently. I think I remember playing that. If it's the one that I'm thinking of, it starts with a new beginning. I think. I think they really changed up the combat in that one though. They made it a bit more complex and yeah. I mean, I think I still played through them all, but I played through them when I was much younger. I haven't replayed them ever. Yeah, in the beginning, yeah. I don't know how I felt about that one. I kind of missed the simplicity of the original. Okay, what other races do we have, Ref? What other SRD?
Anything else you want to discuss on Spyro?
No. Look, I was gonna go into why I don't play it, why I wouldn't replay it, but it's just so off topic.
Right. But yeah, as I was saying before, Aarakocra, we're not going to have Aarakocra.
No. In terms of Aarakocra, there are no
For multiple
Aarakocra.
reasons. For multiple reasons. Changelings, we're not going to have changelings.
No, we're not.
We will be having Genasi though, or some iterations of
Yeah.
Genasi.
Because we want elemental
but
spirits to be able to affect like the tiefling spirits.
Genasi, but like elemental related race. Because, you know, whether or not we'll call them Genasi is something else, but we will have Genasi equivalent.
Well, look, we'll call them something different, but yeah,
Yeah.
I don't know if Genasi is a copyrighted term. What about a psionic?
Yeah.
What about a psionic? As a race or as a
race? I see Vidi. Yes, I like that.
But is that a race or is that a lineage?
I think you could have a psionic race.
A race.
We don't have Gith. We don't have Gith, Mind Flays, or anything like that.
We don't.
So let's think of a psionic equivalent. We don't have all the
we can make something from
traditional
scratch.
psionic
Also,
races.
we at the point I did want to make like a kind of like I believe they're called Driders in D&D, but like kind of inspired by Driders, but an entire just race of like spider-like centaur people. As a race, I love Kalashtar personally.
We were having that discussion. We were very much having that discussion. We will be having a Kalashtar equivalent.
We even talked about how we're going to make it work.
What's that, sir?
I was saying we even know how we're going to make our Kalashtar equivalent work.
Yes, and with different sub-races potentially attached to it. Because in this setting, as we know, there's like the spirit world, and then there's the normal world, and there's the world in between that souls, when you die, they travel through in order to reach the spirit world and everything like that, which is a very perilous journey, very dangerous to the souls. Can be, it's a whole process. They can be corrupted, turn into magic, everything along the way. So in that, there's a few different ways we were going to have it work, but the Kalashtar equivalent, like the spirit bonded race, it's almost like, for some, it's almost tethering the souls of their ancestors to themselves in order to keep them safe, like as a generational thing, instead of letting them go through the danger of traveling. For others, it's very much souls that have come back wrong into the world, occupying or partially occupying the body of someone on the we don't have a name for it, but like the material world as such. So yeah, but there's like different interpretations of how they could work that we've had. But yeah, we will be having a spirit connected race, probably with several. Considering some of the ideas we're coming up with, probably with
Winter's Tales raiding with a party of 19. Ooh. How the heck are you? Hello. I stopped by you earlier. You're doing some world building. I think you've got a big event coming up, but how the heck are you?
Hello. How are we doing?
And hey, Melvin.
How are we all doing today?
How are we? I was watching a little bit earlier before we streamed. How did you're making a world to destroy it, aren't you? For your event next Thursday. How the heck is it going? Tell us all about it.
That is a very cool idea.
If you guys aren't already, go and follow Winter's Tales. They're phenomenal.
Yeah. They do amazing work over there. Go check them out. And go follow all of everything they do.
Yeah, welcome on in.
Just XCat, just quickly above. Instead of material plane, how about Eldra Firma? that's the Eldritch Scribe. Just name the word after us.
Everything is Eldritch.
Think of some connection. Everything is Eldritch something. The whole world will be the Eldritch. Building a world to destroy. Oh,
8 days.
God.
Yeah.
See,
I was watching a little bit. How did it go? Did you get much done?
Yeah, I like the emotional investment in building a world to destroy it.
Fill it with tabaxi.
I suggested that without thinking of the channel name. Okay, cool. I thought you were just making a joke based upon the channel name, and I was like, you know what, that's kind of funny.
No, I thought that was a meme on the Eldritch Scribe, but Eldra Firma. We created an epic capital city and figured out some new nations. Nice.
See,
I hope you have fun.
And then you can tell that's really cool. That's really cool. Look, the better the capital city, the more epic its fall will be. But yeah, that's a really cool idea. But yeah, in our stream today, we're just going through. We're also actually building a brand new setting.
Maybe we'll destroy it. I don't know.
Very scratch. Maybe it will be destroyed at some point in the future. But we're building from scratch, starting anew, and yeah, we're just going through what races we will be incorporating into the world, which ones we'll be trying to rework, and then which ones will be new. What type of ideas that we have, or ideas that chat have, and can provide to us for potential races and lineages that they want to see.
I don't actually hate the idea of like the possible name though being Eldraferma. Like I know it's a meme, but it does sound nice.
Okay, it does sound nice. We need Eldraferma up there. I was gonna say like we need somewhere to put this. I think at some point in the next few weeks, I would like to think of a name. I would like to have some sort of.
Wait, this will just be forever known as the new setting. 4 years from now, when we're streaming it every other day, the new setting.
We do need a name, and that's something I would like to look towards over the next few weeks.
See, names are I spend too long thinking of names on these things.
Yeah. I get so frustrated. Like I don't know, naming things is something I'm such a perfectionist of that nothing sounds quite right, and it's just like I just spend hours trying to think of it. It's awful.
I agree. I am exactly like that as well, and it is mind-numbing. How do you feel about crystal humanoids?
Very cool.
Very cool. Do we have setting idea? Yeah. So it's a dark fantasy where there is going to be 3 realms of existence. So it's all going to be on one world. It's basically like main material realm, an ethereal realm that separates it, and then an other world that has all your evil spirits that would make up the devils, demons, fae, celestials, depending on the location of the world. It is a dark fantasy where all magic comes from souls, and using magic is actually taking people's as they're trying to pass through to the other side, the life force of them. It's a pretty cool idea, I'm not gonna lie, and we'd love to have you. We're doing our last big world stream on Friday. I'll have to stop by to check it out before stream. I think we're streaming Friday as well, but I will stop by early.
Try and catch.
Do you want to steal my world name? I haven't built it in years, and I could use it. I could use a new home. Tell us the name. Maybe put it in the inspiration folder. Trimonde 3 world. Yeah, it's the Trimonde.
You know what?
The Trimonde.
The Trimonde. Look, I kind of like the idea of having like a pool of names that we put out there, and it's like, hey, like,
look, if we gotta give enough names, we'll put a vote out for it when we have a couple ideas.
Yeah. I think we need a section. Possible names. Trimonde. Okay, yeah, just writing out there. Cool.
Arathra. That sounds super similar to something we've had before.
What have we had that's similar?
I don't know, but for some reason my brain that's hitting me in like a deja vu part. I can ruin that, but I won't. No, ruin it.
Yeah, I know.
Ruin it.
No. Don't worry. Don't. Reading, I already know. It does. I already know what you're going to say. Don't say it. Don't say it. Don't say it.
Urethra. Yeah, that's why I can't use it. Sorry, idiots.
I said don't say it.
Urethra.
All of us.
And
you said that, reading.
A hag lineage. Ooh, I don't like that they are always portrayed female, but a lineage means some really bizarre magic available. A hag lineage. I think we do a hag lineage in the new races.
Because hags are going to play such a very important
Yeah, because hags are going to be the ones that can enter into between the world between worlds. Finger homes on the timeout button.
Vidi will use their mod powers, not for good, but to do what's right.
I never said our mods weren't corrupt.
They're a law unto themselves.
Yeah, but I really like the idea of doing some form of hag lineage. I like that idea. I like that idea.
Because that's one of the things, even without getting into the specifics, we both wanted hags to play an important part in the setting. Like, regardless, we want them to play an important part, so that's cool. That is very cool. I've had that thought, but most fantasy worlds tend to have that curse. Yeah, honestly, look, what fantasy world doesn't have some weird, like, name connotation in your head to something Completely
Yeah,
different.
the thing is, you'll say it and you'll never think of it, and then one person will go, "Oh, that sounds kind of like," and it's just it's Dunyan rings. It's Jover. Congratulations, boys.
Shut the. Um. But yeah. What was I going to say? Yeah, hag lineage though. On that, that's something I would be very happy to work on.
No, Melba, I definitely want to do something like that. Something to do with hags, because we want to have both good and evil hags. Because in the setting, we're going to have basically, like, as the people that can affect the world between the worlds, that can go and try and find souls that are stuck in the in between, the ethereal realm. So I really like that. Also, hi, and I'm going to have you as my background noise for while I'm drawing stuff for school. Enjoy the background noise.
Yeah, enjoy it. I hope we make for good background noise. At the very least, I can tell myself that at night.
Look, if nothing else, I can be good background noise for you.
All right, so we've got. Appearance.
What if hags tried to be gods and created the realm, but their powers got leached away from them in the creation? Now they're trying to bargain influence. Interesting. I don't necessarily know about that, because I don't want an answer to how the world was created, because I've always done that in my world. I've been like, this is how everything was created. This is how this was created. This is how this was created. I don't necessarily know if I want that. I think that could be a rumor, though. I think we could work that as like a rumor of the hags.
See, I like there in this world to be a lot of different stories on how everything came to be. Regardless, like, it depends where you're coming from in the world. It depends even within that. Like, specific groups have specific tellings of how everything came to be, how the hags got their power. I think it's something we want to leave with a lot of mystery behind it, and a lot of depth. Since souls can get pulled around with magical forces, what about a race in people's souls that have manifested in physical form, but in a really janky way? Like their bodies use whatever material was around? That's interesting.
I'll put it in the ideas. I'm not sure how I feel about it.
Yeah, put it in the ideas.
Because we were thinking of, like, we want some new races that would be thematic for the world, and that is thematic. Every race considers themselves the first race, yeah.
But you put something in there, Des. In terms of Dryder-inspired race, that's something that you've thought on a bit.
Yeah,
I know that you got a bit more.
Man, I fucking love spiders, and like centaur-like spider creatures. I don't know. I feel like Driders don't get used that much, and I don't like the lore that sits for them. And since we're not going to have like Drow in the world, that kind of opens up for what that creature type is. Bullet-themed Dragonborn just has a gun.
Look, I am a sub-race of Dragonborn, the Glock.
The Diggy Dragonborn.
AK Dragonborn. No,
Look, really putting the RPG in RPG.
Great. Chainsaw Man, but gun. Yes.
Chainsaw Man, but gun. Yeah, I've not seen Chainsaw Man. I've heard it's very good. I'm thinking of a soulborn race that can actually create new souls to populate the world. Interesting. I was thinking souls are part of like almost a natural cycle of the world. That when everything has a soul.
We've had that cosmological debate between the two of us in terms of
it's an
is there like to some extent reincarnation?
Yeah.
And
because that's actually an idea for a race I had. I think we were talking about this and I just completely forgot about it. Is basically there's like two life cycles, and those that are good. Actually, I think this was my idea for Aasimar. If you were good enough in the spirit realm and you leaded a good life in both the material realm and the spirit realm, you would be reincarnated as an Aasimar.
See,
or was that my
I wasn't entirely sure. I feel like that was your Genasi idea, because your idea for Kalishtar, because we came with two different ideas for Kalishtar. Yours was like being brought back wrong type of thing.
Because we were talking about like in resurrection rituals, if it failed, like another spirit could like afraid to pass on, try and take over the body. And I thought that was really interesting to be like, you just can't like the resurrection works, but it just worked wrong.
Yeah. So it's cool. We got two different ideas for Kalishtar, which is I like the idea of making them to like sub races almost.
Yeah, definitely.
But that's interesting because I think I was more like I'm not sure to what extent I want there to be a form of
Maybe a goblinoid race could be a sub race of orcs. Interesting.
Okay, I'm curious about that video. Do you have more on that? Because that's something I like the idea that you're going in, but I'm curious if you have more cooking in there. I like it. I like it. Race collectives, a race of undead that act as a host for a hive mind of souls. Due to the shared mind, they have a +2 int, +2 whiz. However, due to an overwhelming amount of voices, people can be disturbed. -1 charisma ability. When you kill a humanoid, you may add its soul to the collective. You may gain proficiency in the skill until a long rest. That's interesting.
How do you feel about undead races in this setting?
As playable.
As playable. I like that idea as a monster, honestly, but I don't know how I feel about it.
I was gonna say I really like that idea as a monster, but I'm just not sure as a playable. But from a monster, I really fucking like it.
I'm gonna put that down as like possible monster. Actually,
yeah, possible monster ideas.
Like they had some common ancestor, but they, oh god.
I was say like they had some common ancestor, but they developed differently due to the different demands. Surface orcs, underground, shadowy, smaller orcs. Okay. I don't hate that. That's
sorry, ads. Oof.
Okay. No, I'm thinking on that video. I'm thinking on that. That's something I want to think about.
But then how would you explain like hobgoblins and bugbears for using them?
It's part of it. They're different ways of development and evolution. It's a shared ancestry, but different ways, different things that have happened over time. Whether that's or could even be like magical influences on them have changed them.
Okay, I fuck with that.
And certain exposure to spirits and things like that may have changed them. But yeah,
maybe goblinoids are scavenger adapted orcoids and better scouts and spies. Interesting.
But yeah, I think that there could perhaps be a common ancestry, some sort of connection there. Definitely.
Back from ads. Welcome back. Twitch seems to be pushing it more. I don't know why. Maybe they're monster celebration. Oh, you don't? You don't what? Or maybe they're monstrous adaptations and only the orcs/goblinoids are intelligent enough to be played. Interesting.
I think you mean
for hobgoblins, bugbear.
Well, hobgoblins we're having because that's my insist. But how about bugbears? We don't need bugbears. Bugbears don't have to be in there.
True. We also don't even need to write in bugbears. You can just not have them.
Yeah, they could just not exist. Because I am slightly cooking on hobgoblins. I'm slightly coming up with some ideas. So I would like hobgoblins in there in some form.
Hobgoblins and goblins who grew up in strong areas where goblins existed alone and needed a warrior caste. They're just stronger by accident. Hey, watch the eyes. Hey.
See, I almost like the idea though of goblins being just underground orcs, or at least evolving underground.
Interesting.
As opposed to on the surface, even.
Okay.
For whatever reason, or like even just like some difference there like that. Like it doesn't have to be too complicated. I don't feel like we need to go too in depth into why, and just something basic like that we can put out there as long as we put enough detail into the background of each of them. Standard issue steampunk was protection. Yeah, look, and a necessity for everyone to have. But yeah, as I briefly said as well, there's going to be no gith of either variety.
No,
they're just too connected to pre-existing settings.
They've got such established lore. It's like
they do. Now there's something else. We also said in terms of giant akin races like Goliaths, Furbolgs, things like that, we're not going to have. if I remember correctly.
Giants are just so poignant to Quenthos that I don't know if I want Giants again as like a central point and playable thing, because I don't know. I think it just, as we were trying to talk about Giants in this world, would be a bit more elemental, so they kind of like on the elemental spirits, they kind of are on that elemental spirit plane. What about a race that has no soul, can't be resurrected, but are themed on physical evolution? That's a hard nerf for a race, though, to be not allowed to be resurrected. Gotta go.
Got to
have a love sesh. Enjoy.
Thank you so much, Reading, for calling through.
Thanks for hanging out.
1 lineage, 3 subraces: mountainous, harsh conditions, orcs; swampy, mobility-orientated skirmishers, hobgoblins; scavs, goblins. See, that's the type of direction I was looking at. If we were to take this approach, to have just like very clear-cut distinctions about where they originated and just really build that into them. I mean, it is dark fantasy. Having an Iron Man mode you can opt into might be fun. True, actually. Very, very true.
I feel like there has to be a strong buff that they get for that, though. Like, that's a trade-off.
Yes. Do you think maybe, I feel like we've seen this a lot. Do you feel like that's maybe almost a very interesting like lineage type thing?
I think
like
it could be, or it could be a race,
like
it could be a lineage. I think we put the idea down. I'll add it to the list of possible ideas, and we'll see what we can come up with when we get to tackling individual creations. Unresurrectable equals magic proof. Okay, bye. Definitely not magic proof. That's too strong of a buff for that nerf.
See, we need to tread the line between them getting a suitable buff and them being broken.
But I'm wondering how many players would play it on that kind of Iron Man mode.
I mean,
would that
I'd
be
be kind of curious. To be fair, I'd be kind of curious.
But do you not think that maybe the average player wouldn't?
I think it's cool to have it there as an option. I think it's very cool. And it's very in line with the tone of the setting.
Some sort of adaptability you can choose to change up on a regular basis. Oh, that'd be interesting. Kind of like a shifter, but kind of more like adapting to the environment.
Yeah. Really wow them and make goblin crafters. Sorry, goblin rafters.
I like that idea. I'll put that in as a sub point on that one.
Yeah, check that in there. Throw that in there. Look, at this stage, there are very few bad ideas.
Look, it's a brainstorm. There is no such thing as a bad idea right now. It's just, well, they're stupid ideas, but they're no cap on their natural lifespan. Just how long they can manage in the world trying to kill them. Like, a game has easy, no death difficulty. This is the no death run. Yeah, look, this is the zero hit run of the fucking game.
You flawless. Every mission, flawless.
They get a dodge roll ability. It's just a Dark Souls race, except they can't revive.
That is like the opposite of Dark Souls.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, no, that is a very important one to put in there. We want some sort of shifter equivalent, some sort of what's like the key element? Like we want like something that can almost change between different animal.
A Lycan style race is what we wanted.
Yeah. We just use the terminology of shifter because that's the
reference point.
The closest D&D race that we have. Something based on
also Trigger, if you're back from the ads, I hope you're back from the ads. I just realized that I didn't respond. I really liked your idea, but not as a playable race. I want to use that as a monster. So we've now made a new category for monster ideas.
I'm looking through in terms of other ones to cross. Yeah, centaurs, no. Just so people can't be like,
not playable. I think they exist.
I'm a small creature. Why not playable then?
I think maybe they're a bit. I don't know.
Because they're cringe.
Next
question.
How about their nemesis, the Distractors? Ayo. I did a no death Elden Ring run for a week. I see why people do it, but it's also running the risk of slowing down the game for being careful. Now you just full on full send.
Look, I did like 100 death run Elden Ring, so
Yeah,
I
no,
don't know, man. I think
you did the opposite.
I think that's more
no,
impressive.
because okay,
That
to
was
answer
pretty
why
good.
centaurs, I just don't know if they're.
I just don't like them.
You don't like them? What do you think about the? See, the more we've been talking about this, the more I've been like, I like the Drider idea, but I don't think it's a playable race.
Well, see, here's my thing. If we have that race, why don't we have centaurs? Like,
Because this is
why don't we
dark
have centaurs
fantasy.
as playable?
This is dark.
Centaurs are dark fantasy.
No, they are. See, that's saying centaurs are dark fantasy, but I think they're like, I think we make so their mind is a bit like, they're not like maybe a bit more like warring. They're not really like as a typical thing. Like they're not a playable because like the centaurs within the world are like villainous.
What's your feeling? I'm curious, actually. What's your feeling on?
Hey, the real Meerkat Manor. Well, thank you for the follow. Welcome in.
Thank you so much for the follow. Welcome in.
What was my thought on
what is your feeling on having races that are humanoid or would otherwise be playable but aren't playable? Just in general. Like saying, yes, these exist in the world, but they're not a playable option.
Yeah, I don't know. I think it does make sense because like you look at it sometimes, it's just like because like it's not playable for the fact of whether it's like it's meant to be a villainous option for the world. You know, it's kind of like I don't mind it. I don't think everything has to have playable stats. And Trigger just put in a new idea, Genasi type idea. Wispwalker, due to being exposed to the raw weave of magic, they have adapted to the chaos of it, gain resist to element type. Element type times equal prof add a d4 element damage to attack. Interesting. Well, we don't really have the weave of magic, but you could have them being a Wispwalker because they are the element or the effect of the world in between. That could work.
That's really interesting, actually.
I'll add it to the ideas.
Put that in.
And will we make a large size? We have had large sizes before. That's okay. So the difficulty with large size is damage types, and if they're not getting the damage type, why not? Because large normally gets an extra dice of damage. Why is my stuff not copying? This is working fine, and now it's not. Okay, there we are. We've done it before, like centaurs in our setting when we had them. They were categorized large for their bottom half, but because they only had the upper half of a medium creature, their damage was regular. So I wouldn't be opposed to introducing a large size creature. But I'd have to think of why they're not getting the benefits.
I mean, perhaps you just word it in terms of, like with Goliaths, it's like you count as one size larger for the purposes of X. Almost to take that approach where they're not, but you know, they get benefits. But that way we have a stricter, you know, regulation on which benefits exactly it is that they get.
Or we do something akin to like the centaur. If I will do the Drider race where their bottom half does count as a large creature.
Okay, yeah.
Inspired by dark fantasy, what about something to do with gems or crystals? So that's actually a subrace of dwarf I've had before, and they're gem dwarves, and I'll probably be bringing back an incarnation of them for this setting. But
actually, that's kind of cool. Just thinking of like dwarves whose bodies like encrusted with gems.
Yeah.
Even that's cool.
Or in me, cool. Just crabs. Just everybody.
Look, crab people.
Enough said.
What's that?
I just put it in the race idea. Vidi crabs.
Excellent. Deserves nothing less. Oh, actually, a race that is in hot demand that I need your opinion is grungs.
Grung, not a shot.
I want my frog.
Nope.
People.
So the big question is, how damaging is it for a player race to just have an extra damage dice? It's one of those things that at low levels it's a lot, at high levels it's fine because of how things scale. I don't know, just for balance as well, I don't think it's that great. It is quite detrimental because it's suddenly a race that is like significantly stronger. Now there's ways I could I could argue it like to make it so like perhaps you have like a race that's like a giant crystalline creature, but like they're normally broke up quite a lot, so it's only like a proficiency bonus amount of times per day they can add an extra damage of dice as like their racial. I wouldn't be opposed to that. But at lower levels, it's just because if you think about most species and characters in the world, that race would become so dominant because most time things don't hit high level. So the armies of these larger races would be so much stronger. Yeah, that's a good way to do it. It is, yeah. I would need to figure out lore for it. Why I suppose in my mind, I'm not going to make a any player base race that, in my honest opinion, is a humanoid-ish with enough intelligence to make their own decisions, i.e. any character that can decide to leave their home to live a different life. Couldn't there be one centaur that leaves their home and ideals to explore the world on their own terms? Just wondering, and thanks for streaming. Hey, you're welcome. Thanks for coming on in, Shinra.
Thank you so much.
Definitely could be. Yeah, we're probably gonna have something to do with plasmoids, but talking about that, Shinra, I definitely want there to be something like that, but it's just kind of like, how do you do that without like having racial stat blocks for literally everything? Like,
yeah,
like because there's so many creatures out there, like, you know, arguing like, oh well, there's mind flayers if they're in the world, they're vaguely humanoid. Why can't that be a player? Or like giants, they're vaguely
centaur hive mind.
Centaur hive mind. I don't know. We're spitballing right now. And right now,
potentially.
My idea is like, because I want to do something akin to Drider. I really do like the idea because it feels very fitting for a dark fantasy to be like I have this idea for like a weird ass country where it's like all these Drider like people where they're half spider from the waist down, upper half is humanoid, and it's just like just crazy like kingdom style. Imagine what the cities would look like for these people.
Yeah, also just quickly, Vidi brought up a very interesting, which is memes aside, some race with an exoskeleton or carapace be interesting to roleplay and flesh out the culture behind.
I was saying I want an insect race. I've been arguing to Raph off stream for an insectoid race, whether it's we
I'm happy.
Tree Keen or something. Because like we had something like that in Quentus that I was going to start developing, like the Tuscully, but we just never ended up going down the pathway that was like into their storyline as like a people, which are like wasp people.
Yeah, I think like I'm more than happy to it. I just want to see what you come up with. I think we can just write down as well, like just like some insectoid race. Because I know that's something you definitely want in there. You definitely want some form of
now I could do my dryad people as something like that, but I would an exoskeleton one would be cool. And also Trigger also put something very interesting in here. Monster idea that clicks upon seeing a creature roll DC 14 whiz save. On a fail you see a warp decaying version of a loved one. If affected, roll another whiz save to bring yourself to attack them. Ooh, I like that. Let's add that in.
That's cool. Another monster idea. I like this. We're actually getting monster ideas. This is cool.
Look, we're getting a lot of cool ideas.
I wasn't expecting getting monster ideas as well. Yeah, and the way that mind flayers work with the elder brain and everything, it would be very difficult to explain a mind flayer adventure.
I know, like,
and just by nature.
No, but like because the base ideology is that a racing classes you play are adventurers. They're wanderers by nature of their home is being threatened and action is needed, hence why mind flayers often not. Yeah, no. That's a great point, but it's kind of like I think in like base D&D, centaurs weren't playable, and it's like you've got all these things like, you know, that could be argued, but I think it's just like if a player really wanted to play it, I wouldn't be opposed to trying to stat it out, but I think we have to give like a list of typical adventuring races. But how do you feel about centaurs as like creatures in the world? Like, what do you think of them?
I don't mind them. We've never really utilized them. I don't remember the last time we actually had centaurs.
We have an elven deer version, the Alicet in Quentos, which is like
but which aren't centaurs.
No, they're not.
In terms of centaurs, like big bloody horse people, we haven't really had them much. So I don't know. Like, there's part of me that wants to, just because it's something we haven't really had around us.
Well, look, let's put it in as like the maybe races. We'll think about it.
Put in the maybe races. It's something I want to contemplate, and not throw away too far. Now, actually, something I did want to mention is that you and I, in private talks with each other have confirmed that there will be vampires in some form in the setting.
No
Do we want a
dampers.
form of vampires?
No
Okay.
dampers. I don't want to have vampires or anything like that in this setting. Look, it's mostly
That's
because
fair.
like think of how like vampires in lore of like both Duraplin and Quentos. Like, don't get me wrong, I fuck heavy with the vampire lore I have for Quentos. Like, but let's be honest, we have a lot of them, and they've been very prevalent. I wouldn't mind rather than doing Dampiers, do something akin to the Grim Hollow transformations.
Right. Okay. Yep.
I have this vision.
I have this vision.
Go ahead.
I have this vision in my grey matter of elves in this dark setting being sharp-toothed, bloodthirsty brutalists who are opposed to as opposed to the peaceful, nature-loving elves of other worlds. That could be an approach for some. That could definitely be an approach. What about an elf subrace that has been affected by Underdark's fungi, becoming a spore-infested being? That's actually an interesting idea.
That's what we could do for our Underdark one, or the subterranean ones.
Yeah, I kind of like that. Like, that's something to think about. Put that in there.
Look, I'm putting all the ideas that Chad has had into this as of now, just to like have
something to work through. Centaurs existing as great as a civilization, they aren't a playable race for me outside of Ravnica and Theros, IMO, because they're established there. Yeah, that's very fair. I do agree that they have great potential as a civilization in terms of something to world build and then just also make a character.
Thank you for the follow.
Try to roleplay. I think it's a very interesting idea to go with, but it's just, it's something to think about. Something to think about.
Plant hybrids, plant-like creatures.
Interesting.
Add
Technically not anthro because
no. Could it be centaur gets a magical virus, cold that after a fever and resulting genetic changes is now more humanish and not as powerful as a real half horse centaur. Just okay. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If I was to introduce centaurs, I think Cobalt Press has very good rules for centaurs, better than WotC ones. Their ones, like, they are large creatures, but they make the argument that the upper half is not large, it's a medium, so your weapons do not get the extra damage.
Interesting. I've never really looked into their centaurs.
I feel like you're misusing the word answer. It can apply to anything being humanized. But when you write, you write. But you understand the context of how we're meaning it, so.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. Like I said, I was saying that it doesn't apply to plant hybrids. Because that's been like a lot of argued for in terms of the hybrid question. Where that's like a hybrid where you can't even bring that in. It's something very different.
Well, no, I suppose like the definition of anthropomorphize is giving human characteristics or behavior to an animal object, whatever. So you can anthropomorphize plants, chairs, whatever. I think that's what that's kind of referring to. But we're using it more in the sense of like anthropomorphized creatures, like monsters. Yeah, centaurs could actually be horse riders that are so good they are rumored to be one with their horse. Ooh, that's weird.
That's kind of cool.
That's kind of weird. That's kind of, you know what? I'll put it in as an idea. But, well, I'm not sure how we'll feel about it, but we'll throw it in.
I mean, you could also have like the inverse be people from far away just think centaurs are horse riders so good they are one with their horse, and actually they are the horse.
Yeah, it's actually so. That's really interesting, though. I don't know. That's really interesting. Like, kind of different idea. It's just a group of people that are just so skilled at mounted combat. Okay, I don't hate that. We've got a lot of ideas coming through. If anyone has any, just shout them out in chat. Because there's we're just kind of brainstorming these.
Yeah. I know that you did want to have some form of plasmoid in the world.
Yeah, so some form of plasmoid. Because I think like oozes and plasmoids are very like dark fantasy fitting.
Mm-hmm.
Like my main thing with this is like, does it feel like the does it feel like it would fit in a dark fantasy setting? You could have a race called the Bound. Monsters that have been turned into people but retain monster
I suppose
features
you
of their
put
original
plasmoids
form.
down there.
Yeah.
There we
Mechanically, you would need a modular system. Yeah, that's an interesting one. Actually, I don't know how I feel about that. What do you think, Ralph? You have a race called the Bound. Monsters that have been turned into people but retain monster features of their original form. Mechanically, you would need a modular system. I think we do something akin to that with Shifter, maybe like our version of what will be Shifter. And you love Plasmoid, I'm going to play them once. Yeah, I've never had a Plasmoid. I've never had them available to play, and I feel like this is a setting where it makes sense for them to be available.
That's interesting. No, I'm just thinking back on the Bound thing. It's something I want to think on. I think potentially a system like the Shifter could be a way to solve it, but I don't hate that. I don't hate that at all.
A lot of the best horsemen in history often use their mastery to stand in their stirrups while in combat from a distance or in the dark. It's easy to get that confusion about centaurs being one creature. That is true. That could actually be a really interesting play on centaurs, where they think like there's, oh yeah, the centaur's over there, and it's like it's just a group of people who are just really skilled horsemen. That's kind of interesting. That is kind of interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell my players, but I put plasmoids into my water-based country that is full water-based inspired creatures and races. Interesting.
That's a very good point, actually. Now that you mentioned that, we were going to discuss something, is that we want there to be some form of aquatic race. Now, we don't know what it is, but we do want some form of aquatic race, because we don't really have any in this setting that we actually want in there. But you know, in terms of ones that do exist, the ones that do exist in D&D currently, we're not bringing over. So yeah, we're thinking of some aquatic base race.
And then Trigger says, Warforged idea glitched. A group of artificers went mad, infusing the bodies with their creations in an attempt to advance their evolution. The result was a cybernetic nightmare of odd glitching screens and sparking wires. Interesting. Unfortunately, we're not going to have artificers or that level of technology in this setting. But that is an interesting idea for a more high-tech setting. I like that idea for a high-tech setting.
I mean, I suppose into some extent, you could almost have like a group of mages that went about trying to infuse their bodies with magic, which is like warped them and corrupted them like that. So that could be an interesting way of working it. But yeah, no. Unfortunately, with the setting of the world, that doesn't quite fit in. It's a very cool idea, though.
I agree. If you're creating the world, can't you just make a situation where the new player character can be almost anything? For instance, just off the top of my head, a group of gnomes that live near fungus that gave the gnomes an added hormone, and over time they changed to breathe and swim underwater. Water gnomes. Look, that's true. I think the goal is to be able to give, like, when we're presenting this setting to our players, is to give them like a list to choose from as well. Like to be like, here is like the typical standard ones. Like, while we'd be more than happy to be like, you know, introduce new things for players, I think it's important for players as well to just be like, have a list to pick from in like what is like typical standard of the world, what they would expect to see. Ooh, love that. Rune Forged. Yeah, could do.
Rune Forged, yeah.
Same idea with glowing stones and golem forms. Yeah, could do something like that.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's just not about that as well. Like, we don't want to have an overload of different races in the setting, and or playable, I suppose, lineages and races in the setting as it is. That's always something that we've never. It's always something we've been really careful on. Like, we don't put every race possible into the setting. We don't like get like, yeah, you know what? They all exist. They're all out there. We prefer to have a more carefully curated.
I feel like you could build a style better. Like, we've got a lot of ideas. We'll probably trim this down to, I'd say, maybe, I would say 12 playable races to begin. I think that's a good number to kind of aim for. Me at the Sea City Side Tavern.
See, the issue with aquatic races a large part of the time is that when I've had thoughts is like, you know, a lot of the cool ideas, it's like, how do you explain them adventuring above land? Like, what is their connection to above land? Like, why do they still go there? like, why do they still have the capacity to breathe on land? Or is it just that they have a deep connection to the water? They're land-based, but they have that deep connection.
What if we introduce a siren-based race purely for the meme that you can say I'm a siren and we leave it at that? If you're a League of Legends player from olden days, you'll get the reference.
No, we're not.
Just say I'm a siren. Done. Ah. Viddy, please tell me you get that
and
joke.
outsmarted. Mated and outsmarted.
Okay, so what kind of... Yeah, we have a lot of ideas. We're going to trim this a lot, I'd say. Well,
yes,
bring them down,
yes.
but I'm trying to think of
I'm just trying to think. I'm trying to think back in terms of ones that we had discussed on satyrs. So that's another one as well. Satyrs we're not having.
Satyrs, no. No.
We've can't.
Because the other thing is we're going to be like, we have to make lore for these, so it's like each of these we're making lore for. It's definitely power creeped in modern D&D. Near the latter half of my DMing and world building, I limited my world to humans, elves, tieflings, devilkin. It made things easier on the DM side. Yeah, no, definitely we want to avoid too much power creep. Like, we'll have a bit of power creep, obviously, just kind of keep it up with the world, but I don't want all the races in the world to just be like innately like super busted, because it sounds like, how are they struggling as like people if like the world's so dark and gritty, but they're just like giga strong. But I think getting it so like maybe there's like 12 races, no more, and having really good lore for those 12. Maybe 12 is even a bit much. I'm actually going to change. You know what? I'll change our main list to a numbered list.
That's fair. I do think that it's very important. I did not get the joke because I was typing. You didn't hear something about LOL Sirens. Oh.
It's Team Siren reference. It's a League joke.
But I think it's also important to remember that in regards to the world, it is an entire world that we're aiming to build. So it's very easy for different races to exist, but in very different parts of the world.
I'm going to send you a
like just because they exist.
This is from 10 years ago. It's a League meme, Viddy. It's old. It is the old memes. It's probably going to like click a memory in your brain and you're just going to like unlock your entire consciousness from that period again. Like, how many races would you want in a setting, Raf?
I mean, do you agree with that though, Des?
What?
In terms of what I said before, like in terms of the world?
You'll need to repeat it. I was responding to Viddy's question about the sirens.
But in regards to the world, like we're building a whole world. Like there's races, like we don't need to have a necessarily confined list if it's an entire world that we're building, because you can have some that exist somewhere but they're not everywhere. Like it's
oh yeah, no, I don't think all of these exist everywhere, but I just think they're like, I would like to try and keep it into I'm not saying we cannot go above 12, but I want to have 12 really strong lored out with culture kingdoms if they have them. If not, why don't they have them? Viddy, that was such a meme of the time period. I'm disappointed. 14 is okay. 14. Yeah. Okay, 14. I could put it up to 14. Because like also if we're doing like this list can also shrink a hell of a lot, because I think 14 races. I'm not counting lineages, because lineages go on top of races. So you're talking our tieflings, genasi, dragonkin, maybe, like those instantly get pulled from that because they're not races. They're extra lineages instead of your race. But that's kind of where my brain is at. 14 like strong base races, add the lineages, whether we have 5, 6, however many lineages, which then mixing, matching, you've got 6 interchangeable things that could go on top of 14 lineages.
I remember the whole Ramilla controversy and how that was terrible as to how the community handled that situation. Look, one of you two will have to explain that to me. I don't quite.
I don't know what that is. I have not heard of that. I don't know what the Ramilla controversy was. We'll have to discuss it sometimes.
Yeah.
More like a sponge than a sieve. Interesting. But no, like, because like, what if there's 14 options with 6 possible lineages? That maybe they can't go on every possible lineage, but like, you easily get above like, you know, like 28 options because you could do like 2 different types of those 14 races easily. Like,
Yeah, absolutely.
like you get a really good like kind of mix and match options at that stage, because like if you've got 6 lineages that kind of change your base race, and then like some of those lineages like Genasi have sub like different versions of that lineage, I feel like it's got a lot of different options that you can pull from.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
But I just mean having like, we can do 14, but 14 like super strong, like these are the cultures, kingdoms, major players in the world, and like we can expand past that, but I would just like to have 14 like fully fleshed out before we do any, like before we get past that. And see how we feel about the world when the 14 are done, because 14 is like, even if each of those kingdoms was like a country, 14 like, and I know there will be some countries that are multiple different lineages within it, but like those, that would be 14 kingdoms is a lot of kingdoms already to start. Like, I don't think all of them have kingdoms. Okay, should probably ban humans. Too much capitalism. Agreed.
Look, interesting considering considering the mixing match approach with lineages and races. Yeah, no, look, it's something that I just want to keep a relatively open mind on at this stage. I don't want to present any hard caps to anything at this stage.
It's not a hard cap. It's more just like, what you call it? Just like I would like to focus on the first 14 and like have us kind of set in mind, be like, I want to get these really fleshed out, and then we could go, like, okay, let's start expanding, because like, but just have like a solid foundation, then expanding past that, rather than just going, oh, we got like 20 ideas and they're all half done.
Okay.
Like we can go 15, 16, 17, but just I want to like pick our first core 14, work on them when we get to them, obviously.
Yeah.
Now, that being said, if there's something that's like 15, 16, we can go, okay, those are really good, we'll do them next. But just like, to get like the foundation of the world and like really kind of have the major, like the first, like, I don't even necessarily know if we go like what we think will be the most popular 14 races in the world, but I think we think of what the most, like, I suppose culturally and kingdom significant 14 races in the world will be. Because then that helps us establish the world more, because we're making a world.
We are making a world, but I like the idea of a lot of these not necessarily being bound to,
I don't think they are
locations.
I think like,
I think it's quite interesting to have some that aren't.
Oh yeah, like plasmoids. Yeah. I don't think they really have like a major place.
Yeah.
But no, I want to just like, I want to have a good foundation, and just kind of what we think would be the 14, I suppose, most picked as well, because like you've got stuff that you're like, yeah, this is cool. I don't know if a player will ever pick it.
Yeah, which is another thing to keep into mind is the likelihood of players actually choosing this, which is something we want to keep in mind when creating these. We don't just want to create as a pet project for ourselves and then be completely, completely not really liked by players once they actually look at them. Siren idea tie-in location: the Wailing Towers of Ivorix. God.
Ivorix.
My
2 obsidian towers formed of bone and barnacles.
Ooh. The towers are named as such when the wind blows past them. The towers let out a death scream. That's very interesting.
I'm gonna add that to the ideas.
Location. Put that into like a new category: location ideas. I like that though. That's really cool.
If we do something siren, because sirens, as much as they meme, like not actually legalized on the meme. But no, that's really cool. Like before plasmoids were released, I had been playing an ooze race homebrew. They were like a hive mind of tiny sentient cells, so they referred to their form as we because it has many minds making up one form. That's nice. We are hungry.
We. Oh, that's nice. That's sweet. I like that.
We need our nuggies.
We need our nuggies.
Cool. Yeah, no, true. That's a really good idea. If we do something with sirens, or even any sea-based race, that could be an interesting location.
Look, whatever sea-based race we do, they need something to do with barnacles. Like, that's just fucking cool. Um, just going back through this again. Is there anything that I feel like we've missed? Okay, actually, interesting question. How are we handling half races? Do they exist in the world?
Yeah, I think so. Half elves, half orcs. Like,
Okay.
I don't know. I don't want to use Vidi's breeding rules, so I think we just let it exist and we don't really, like, don't.
We don't dig into it too deep. We just let them exist. Just let them exist out there.
That's not my rules. You handed it to me. So
we did also say that we're not going to have any type of fairy, or if we do, it'd be very different.
yeah, I think fairies. I would almost more go like the kind of like. I don't know. I feel like there's probably like they exist, but I just don't think they exist as playable races. I think they're spirits on the other side, and they're very tricksy. And I don't think they're humanoid. I don't think they're players. I think they're like forces within the world.
Okay. I definitely agree with that one there. Yeah, I keep forgetting that Durgar are actually a playable race option.
Yeah,
I keep forgetting that.
half plasmas. You can't tell which half though. Interesting.
We have quite a decent selection though, as it is. Quite a different, quite a decent array to try and work from. I'll just be back in 1 second, Des.
Yeah, absolutely. But no, I think we've got some really good ideas. I think it's going to be, like some very interesting. I still want more ideas on sea races. So, like, what does our water-based civilizations look like in a dark fantasy? And I think sirens are cool for that as a base idea. I don't just have like mer people because I also have to be able to go on land. This is going to be another issue. Like there's tritons and sea elves which are like typical, but I just don't know if I want to use them as like a standard, I suppose, because it's just, I don't know. They're so done. Maybe I want to make something new for it. It's curious. I typically love people who transform into sea monsters, werewolf style. Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to that, GF Goth. Also, welcome on in. I would like to do something like that. Perhaps something that's almost lichen based. Yeah, because it's just, I don't know. I want something. I just don't know if I want Triton. I don't really want sea elves. But that is an issue. I'll put that in our idea list. I'll put that in the idea list. Kind of it's a transformation base. I'm curious what base transformations you kind of lean towards then, if that's what you like. And hello, how are you? Marmites, yo. Like I suppose you could try sea monster. Yeah, like some more sea monster. I'm curious what way you would do it then, because that's interesting. Raph, we had a new chatter in GF Goth. They put in, I typically love people who transform into sea monsters, werewolf style, for our sea-based race.
Okay.
I like that.
Hello, GF. How are you going? Second of all, that is a cool way of doing it. I kind of like that. Werewolf, but sea monsters. All right. That's fucking cool. That is very fucking cool.
I actually really like that.
Already put that in there? See, I think that kind of works in with a lot of the ideas we want to have with like, transformation-based races. Like, we put in there the shifter equivalent race in there. Like, you could very much have, I suppose, an equivalent but ocean linked. Definitely. Now, as to what they can change into,
where sharks, crab people. Hey, crab people. Vidi,
crab
your idea comes back.
Vidi, Crabs. Vinny, crabs. Yeah, I still like to highlight this part. There we go. Were sharks though is actually fucking cool.
That would be kind of cool. Sea race idea. What if the water itself is the race, and once drank, it takes over? Oh, imagine that. That's a really good idea, Trigger. Some part of the water is like fucking cursed water. The water just fucking...
always comes back to crabs.
What if the water said, no, I'll drink you?
I like to think that is like there is like a cursed part of the ocean that just does that and has some weird effect.
One second, that did not copy and paste, right? What do you think of Trigger's idea there, Ralph? Tell me your opinion on that. Also, I'm going to be back in a second now that you're back, because we can't leave chat unwatched, so you can now babysit.
No, absolutely.
Like if you the drowned. What if we did a drowned idea?
No, that's kind of interesting. It's a drowned idea. So how would you work that though? Would that be like more in regards to someone who's died in the ocean, or like the ocean has taken them over? If there's like a sentient patch of water that seeks to possess bodies, or is it more like you've drowned and something is occupying your body? Because I could see multiple different ways, and that'd be kind of interesting. Drowned though. I'm just gonna put that in as a separate idea because that's also kind of cool, and I just like the name Drowned as a race. Drowned. Doctor Who is an episode of that. Waters of Mars. Look, I'm sure Doctor Who has an episode for many things.
Look, it's been around long enough. It would want to.
And look, video. I 100% agree. It always comes back to crabs. People demand. People long for crab races.
It is the best form of evolution.
See, the peak. But yeah, Drowned. I like that. Definitely put a note on that one there.
Also, for those of you that are new, just joining in, we have a Discord. And if you want to talk about these things, we're talking about them between games and kind of hopefully start discussing these, kind of get ideas for the next world building streams that come up. Join the Discord. We'll make a specific server for this in the main part and to talk about the new setting.
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned the Doctor Who episode because it does the whole drink the water become the thing really, really well. Interesting. I've always... It's weird. I've wanted to watch Doctor Who, but it just feels like it's kind of like with me watching One Piece. I know I'm reading it now just for the sake of memes, but Camelus hasn't checked in on that progress for a while, so I've just stagnated. But it's like I just feel so behind. Like I don't feel like I can just jump in on a new season. It's like I feel like I got to start from like the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So what ideas can you?
It is a fairly.
It's chunky. There's
fairly monumental. I can, if you really want, I can send you a list of episodes. You can watch it isolated from the main stories. A hit list of episodes.
Like I've seen like clips on like YouTube Shorts and stuff and TikTok. It's just recommended. Like the algorithm clearly thinks I'll enjoy Doctor Who stuff. I know. I feels like one of these things I needed to get into a long time ago, and I just never got onto it. And I just feel like I'm too behind now.
Yeah, I definitely feel that.
Like I'm too late to the party.
Mm-hmm.
Also, Trigger, you are our 620th follower. Very fucking cool.
Hey,
I just noticed that.
Thank you.
620 even.
Thank you.
Make a list. Yeah, I'd appreciate it, XCat. Yeah. That's 26 minutes ago. I just didn't notice. Because I don't normally have enough. And GF Goth, 621. Let's go. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Also, the new season of Doctor Who will be a soft reboot. It's a good time for new viewers to jump in. Yeah, but there's still so many people in the fandom that just know everything that happened before me, and it's a soft reboot, but LFG. Looking for Goth.
Are you looking for a group though, Goth? Post in Steam topics. Oh yes, perfect stream.
Ooh, is this the Dragonkin or is this a crab thing?
Yes, this is. Everything relates back. Yeah. Everything relates back to extra crabs. No, interesting. I'm looking forward to read through this.
Was a hard watch for me. Is that one of the doctors? Lol, no, I meant let's fucking go. Nah, looking for goth. Looking for group.
Looking for goth. Yeah. Oh, sea dragons. Yeah, look, sea dragons are cool. Sea dragons arguably superior to many other types of
I
dragons.
love Capaldi's run. Okay, that is a Doctor Who reference. I did not know that. I know David Tennant and I know Matt. Oh, what's his name? Matt Smith is it the guy who played?
Yeah.
I know they were both Doctor Who's. Lurking for grungs. Look, lurking for grungs. LFG. Lurking for grungs.
Look, Viddy is just LFC, looking for crabs.
Viddy's just LFPR.
What's that?
Think about it. I don't mean personal record.
What do you mean, Des? What do you mean? Look at me.
Do you not get it?
What do you mean?
I want to explain it for chat. I'll text it to you though.
Yeah.
No.
What do you mean? Viddy already has that, Des.
Degeneracy.
No.
Degeneracy, I tell you. Absolute and utter. Viddy, I will be looking into this. That's got some nice art on it as well.
I was going to say, I just like the art of that.
I'm going to star that in my bookmarks. Let's go.
I'm looking forward to getting some ideas from this, hopefully.
Concern. It's just slander, Viddy. Don't worry about it.
Yeah. The absolute colour slander. Don't worry, just your everyday...
I just texted Viddy about it.
See, Viddy, Nate isn't here, so Des has to direct the insults.
My aggression goes
towards
somewhere.
someone in the party. Like, it has to be someone in the party. It's usually Nate.
Do you have mind flayers in this world? If not, what about octopus or squid people? Ooh, interesting. We don't have mind flayers because we don't having Gith and the such. So we could do some form of, some sort of cephalopod. Just saw Octodad.
Des?
Siege Rider.
We have
Half
cephalopod?
grung, half crab. Looking for grung.
Okay,
LFG.
You say that though. You say that though. But Siege Riders, Des.
Octodad, exactly. Yeah. Look, that's it. We just have
No.
Octodad races.
Half lobsters. Come on, half lobsters. Half lobsters, bottom half lobster, top half person.
But with the
That is
claws
what
of
we have
lobsters,
on
no hands.
Yes, claws of lobsters, exactly. Yeah, okay, so we have an entire race of octodads in the world. You got it.
Yeah.
Yeah, half lobster does go hard. Half lobsters.
But you could do something that's like affected by that. What if you did just like, in like Pirates of the Caribbean, Davy Jones, when he doesn't do like the thing, all his people turn like barnacle infused. What if we did something like that? Oh, that's drowned.
And someone put in there before, and this is what I was going to mention actually, I completely forgot to. But it's like we do like a reverent type of thing, but for drowned. But it's like that type of look with like barnacles and like seashells attached to you, stuff like that.
Okay.
I think that's pretty cool.
That's good for Dark
And you can even
Fantasy.
have people, and they can even like take on features of certain sea life, like crab claws. Just saying. They could even be half lobster if they want, because that's as fucking cool.
Okay. So what if we did the mind flare thing as squid dogs that eat the head of the host and host the corpse? Oh, that's visceral. I'm putting that in as an idea. That's good for
Okay,
Dark
but
Fantasy.
squid dogs. I'm sorry, but squid dogs. I'm trying to I'm just picturing a dog as a squid.
Like a face crab idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. Like a face crab.
But why would that be a
I'm
player
checking
race? Why would that be a monster?
In terms of which one of these ideas in particular?
The squid dog that takes over the body. Why would that not be a monster?
Because it's cool. And they don't have to be evil. It's just them trying to live, Des.
Star spawn equals squid dogs. Yeah, that's fair.
Mm-hmm.
But Raph, I just realized we've already gone over our regularly scheduled time by 2 minutes. So we're going to wind down.
2 whole minutes extra.
Got it for
so
free. Free of charge.
Yeah.
But thank you so much for everyone who came in today. Thank you for the raid from Winter's Tale, GF Goth, Trigger, The Real Meerkat Manor, and Lucas. Thank you for the follows today. Emerald, thank you so much for the bits today. Everyone, Uldra, you're coming in just as we're ending. No. No.
You fool. You fool.
Why would you do this? But yeah, we're going to go ahead and end out. If you enjoyed what you saw today, please consider following us. We'd really appreciate it. We'd really, really appreciate it. We're kind of cool. If you want to go above and beyond, though, you can see that kind of below me. We've got a dono goal. We're trying to get a animated intro for our next campaign that will get us to the point of explaining all the lore of our original setting up to the next campaign to break down any barred entry so you don't feel like you're watching Doctor Who for the first time in 40 years. If you want to see some stretch goals, we've got a list of them. If you want to help us out, we'd appreciate it. Or if you've got a sub to the channel, even a Prime, we'll take that as well. Other than that, just thanks for hanging out. We'll see you next time. We're going to go and... I think someone called me out before I even had a chance to do it. We're going to go ahead and raid Arrow. Goodbye.
See you, everyone.